Hey guys, we are back with another video on testing Professor X. We did bring up Kang to G20 today. I know a lot of you guys out there have been asking for some testing with Kang. So look no further, it is here today. And I'm very excited about having Kang at G20 because you know I love Crucible and I love Cabal. And I think Kang's going to be viable for a long time. So we're going to jump in here and we are going to try him out. Now, with that being said, we are in the middle of a live, so if you see me talking to some of the people in chat, that's why. I'm not losing my mind and talking to myself. All right, so let's jump in here and try this out. The Kahori node is by far the worst, in my opinion, in the Cosmic Villain section. All right. Okay. I'll tell you what, Vontae, I wish I had some good advice for you. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have had him on the exact same war defensive team since the day that I got him. And our alliance isn't crazy competitive on war. So I haven't tried out a bunch of different options when it comes to him in war. So unfortunately, I'm not really going to have a whole lot of good advice on that. All right. So let's get over here. She's got ability block, so let's go right here with Kang's ultimate. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, let's get in here with Carnage. We're going to go ahead and save his ultimate until the next drop. Okay, let's go ahead and do his ultimate. All right, now we've got the last Kahori in Ms. Marvel Classic. So we're going to go ahead and use Shadow King's ult. Yeah, that's totally understandable. So, how many people in the chat have gotten Professor X so far? Let me know how many of you guys have him so far. I'm very curious. I'm starting to see, I think I've got 6 in my arena shard now that have him. All right, let's get in here after Ms. Marvel Classic. Her taunt has gone away, so we're going to go after Kahori. Get ability block on her. All right, and we're back on Ms. Marvel Classic again. Get the speed up on Noel, we'll take it. Okay, very good. I like it. Kang putting in work. Yeah, I'm going to say up until like literally the last 3 days of the Professor X trials, there were only 3. And then like the last couple days, 3 more people in my arena shard ended up getting Professor X. All right. So Kang worked absolutely perfect on that node. And in my opinion, that's the hardest Cosmic Villain node. So I don't foresee we're going to have any issues, but we are going to continue on just in case. All right. Yeah, I find it to be kind of strange, if I'm being completely honest, because with somebody who was so, I would assume was supposed to be so game-changing like Professor X, which he absolutely was when he first came out. It is crazy to me that they're like the very first Cosmic Crucible team that they released after Professor X completely obliterates him. Like that's very surprising to me. Quite frankly, that's why I did not try them on First Attack yesterday, because the idea of them being able to one-shot a Professor X and Odin team comp in Crucible just seemed insane to me. So it is what it is, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, this node is probably not going to be much problems. Yeah, I'm going to be advocating big time for Kang at G20, by the way. All right, let's go ahead and do his ultimate. You know, Vontae, I really honestly think I only used Professor X on offense the very first week that I got him. The first weekend that I got him in Crucible, excuse me, I used him on offense all 3 rounds. And since then, I've pretty much had him on defense most of the time. Because there are ways to beat him on defense. However, the higher I get in Crucible, it seems like the heavier people go on defense. So it's getting to be more difficult the way that people spread their offense so thin that it seems like having Professor X on defense makes it to where one of the easier rooms end up getting dropped because everybody's using everything in the Professor X room. Now, we'll have to see how the next season goes. Obviously, it's definitely not going to be the situation in U32. We're going to be so heavily offensive in U32, it's definitely going to be coming down 100% to efficiency. All right, so we are in the last node here with the Kang, and that went way better than it did the last time we were testing. All right. Kang's got to stay alive. This ends up being the node that can cause a lot of problems because of Gambit's nonsense. Yep, there he goes. This may be a situation where we have to reset this a couple times and get the right RNG, or he just may not be able to survive through this because we cannot get to Gambit quick enough. We'll have to see. Yeah, you know, I have absolutely been putting, for me, I've been saving Mephisto for offense. I have found that Mephisto is way more flexible against Professor X. However, now that we have a cursed I don't know that that's really going to matter anymore. And now with Fantastic Four coming out, they're definitely going to change the meta in Cosmic Crucible for sure. So it's going to be very interesting because they're definitely going to be very impactful in Cosmic Crucible as well as Arena. Probably War, but I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to War. But I would assume that they're going to have an impact there as well. Franklin is insane. All right. Let's see if we can keep Kang alive. Nope. Okay. I don't know. We might have to throw somebody else in here that's a little faster in order to be able to use Kang. Yeah, we really do, Vontae, for sure. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am a huge proponent on 8 rooms in Crucible. And I know a lot of people may think I'm crazy because I don't have a huge roster. I've only been playing for 9 or 10 months. So I don't have a super wide roster. Like, I don't have new Warriors built. I don't have any of those older teams built. But I think 8 rooms in Crucible would spread it out enough where there wasn't so much offense. I doubt it, Paul. I doubt it. I know that a couple of the envoys that I've talked to have mentioned to me when I've brought that up that they've been talking about that for a while, and it hasn't seemed like that's something that they're interested in doing. And I understand why, because if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it would really be detrimental to newer players. If you put 8 rooms in Crucible, newer players would struggle severely in there because they just don't have big enough rosters. So I think that probably has a lot to do with it. Since I've been an envoy, it hasn't been discussed, so I don't know if that's even something that's on their minds, but I can tell you if they ever ask about it, I'm voting 100% yes. All right, let's see here. I would like the idea of getting something to work in here. I don't know. Maybe we take out Gore or take out Null and put in Gladiator. Maybe if we can get them to push Thanos, his passive will wipe everyone. Obviously, we know if we bring in Mephisto, he's very easily going to... you can clear this with any team comp if you have Mephisto, but the idea is to do it without Mephisto, so... Yeah, I could definitely see that being an issue too, because now that you mention that, whenever I was first starting, it seemed like I'm going to say probably 2 out of every 3 of my matches were forfeits because nobody ever attacked. All right, I think we're going to go over here. Okay, let's get in here with his special. Okay, let's get in here with his ultimate. We've got to get to the gambits if we're going to have a chance to get through this. Okay. And I don't really know if we're going to be able to get to him, but we're going to keep trying. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that want to use Kang. Okay. Let's try that again. We'll keep trying. I have a lot of patience. We will definitely find a team comp that works. You know, it very well could. Max, if this attack doesn't work, I will actually do that. We'll test that out. Okay. Let's go ahead and get over here. Okay, we got the crit. Okay, let's go ahead and stay over here for now. Maybe we can get rid of Gambit here in a minute. All right, very good. That right there, honestly, is what we were needing for them to push Thanos. Okay. Well, let's jump in and make him a fortifier. I do not think I have him at a fortifier, so we'll have to jump over and do that, I would assume. But let's try it. Yeah, I still have not brought Doctor Strange to G20. I did bring up Agatha today, so we're going to be doing some testing with her as well. All right. Oops. Wrong button. All right. All right, very good. Let's go on there and try this. Let's see if we can get them to focus on someone else. All right. I think we're going to move him up too. All right. Let's see how this goes. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Vontae. I appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome evening. All right. Very good. That was a great idea, Max. Making him a Fortifier, I think, is going to make all the difference. Okay, let's get over here with his special. Like to get rid of Green Goblin. Okay, he's gone. Very good. They're getting really, really close to pushing Thanos. Man, I cannot stand Gambit so much. There we go. That's what we needed. Okay. Let's go ahead and use his ultimate and get rid of the Gambits. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's get in here with his special. And we should have Shadow King's ultimate coming up pretty quick. All right, there it is. They put the two most irritating characters in this node, Gambit and Panda. All right, let's get in here with his ultimate. See if we can rip away some of this nonsense. There we go. All right. Did we finally get rid of the Panda? He's gone. Panda is gone. Okay, let's go ahead and get Taunt back up. Okay. He's blinded, so that's going to do nothing. We're going to go over here with his special. Okay. Well, the moral of the story is, with that team comp, make Kang a Fortifier, and it works perfect. I don't like him either. And, you know, Paul, I did not, kind of the same thing. Hive Mind was on their way out when I came into the game. So I built up Void Knight a little bit so that I could actually, use him for the raids. But outside of that, I'm not very keen on him either. All right, with him as a Fortifier, let's throw Null back in here and see if we can make this work with Null, because I know a lot of people were asking me for this team comp. All right. There we go. That definitely helped. And let's get in here. Hey, we're going to try, Max, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get the battlefield effect out there right out of the gate and get rid of the gambits as quickly as possible. Perfect. All right. The biggest nemesis for Kang on this node are the gambits. If they stick around, they will beat him to death. Okay, let's go ahead and use his ultimate. Perfect. So that makes all the difference. Using him as a fortifier, it's going to keep him alive to take his first turn. And he's going to heal himself as soon as he does. So this is very, very good news. All right, let's go ahead and use his ultimate. And we're going to go ahead and get Carnage out here to finish this off. Let's get rid of the big hairy guy. There he goes. All right. So it worked even more fluid with Noel in there. Guys, just make Kang a fortifier. And thank Max for coming up with that idea because it worked perfectly. All right. So guys, if you got any value out of this video, make sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, slap that notification bell around. And if you think any of your friends or alliance mates could get some value out of this, make sure you share it with them. And until the next video, stay positive and enjoy the game, guys.